Yeah. You gotta work. You gotta work, grind, shine, it's mine. Gotta show everybody it's my time. Getting here, you gotta work, grind, shine. Never mind who talking down.
Welcome to Let's Talk with Carl Lee and frequent guest hosts Hollis Lewis and Lisa Otey, where sports, culture, and community intersect. Join the crew as they dive into engaging conversations with guests from all walks of the sports life. Let's Talk is proudly presented by attorney Frank Walker. Real talk, real experience, real results. Let the conversation begin on Let's Talk.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Carl Lee with Let's Talk. I have my two co-hosts in the building, Lisa Otey and Hollis Lewis. Ladies and gentlemen, this is today. We're going to have a very, 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 very special guest that I think everybody will appreciate. And I'm actually really, really curious to know a lot of things that I don't know about this specific person. But we have, ladies and gentlemen, on the phone, we have Jim McMahon, quarterback for the Chicago Bears, former quarterback of the Chicago Bears, went to BYU, okay? Drafted number one with the Chicago Bears in '82. Played 15 seasons in the NFL. And he also was with the Packers.
Oh,
Lisa, I don't think we have a Packer fan here too, Jim. So she can appreciate that. Is in the College Hall of Fame and played on, I'm going to say, Hollis, probably one of the best football teams that I had ever been a part of. And again,
Amen.
I played against Montana and Rice and that group, but the Chicago Bears was just a different thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, Jim McMahon. Jim, how you doing, man?
Doing great, partner. Doing great. Thanks for that intro.
Well, you know,
Your partner didn't know I was a Packer.
No, she didn't know.
I played along, Jim. I already knew that.
Yeah, she does. She does do her research, so she's our researcher for sure. And I dog her about being a Packer fan. And then we had Sterling Sharp on the show, and of course she was just falling all over the place. But Jim, when I think back, when I look at the Bears, when I think about the Bears, and I think about that team, when I look and when I think about it, I know the defense was great. And Walter Payton was unbelievable, and you had Willie Gault, but that team as a whole, it wasn't really just a defensive team. To me, playing against it, you guys were like a family of just dogs, man. It was like every game you all played, it was like you were out there on the field, and it was like you had to watch it because it was so fast, so physical. Do you think that team was probably one of the most physical teams, one of the best teams? And I know you could be biased, it's on you, but I'm a guy that played against it, and I'm thinking it is.
I played, on 7 different teams, but we were well conditioned. That's for damn sure. I mean, Ditka wore us out during the week. I mean, game day was like a day off for us because it was brutal going against. We had to go against that defense every day.
Wow, I didn't think about it that way.
Everything used to be live. There was no buddy periods. I mean, it was, Ditka and Buddy didn't get along. So, I mean, our practices were long. And then at the end of practice, we'd run 100-yard dashes until he got tired of blowing the whistle. So we were conditioned, and we had a lot of good football players.
Hey, Jim, this is Lisa. I'm gonna take you back. I know in the bio that Carl had mentioned you attended BYU, so I'm gonna take you back a few days to that time period, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Thanks. So you attended BYU, and at that time, they allowed you to play both baseball and football. I know that the baseball was short-lived, but that was the agreement when you went to BYU to play football, that you could also play baseball your freshman year. Knowing now what you know about the physical toll of football, what would be some advice you would give to a young athlete choosing between college football and baseball?
Well, I wish I could have stuck with baseball. That was always my first love. I mean, I thought I was a better baseball player.
Mm-hmm.
And football was my scholarship. And my dad said, no, you're going to college, because I got drafted to play baseball out of high school.
Wow.
I don't know when, what round or whatever it was. But, and he goes, no, you're going to go to college. And the other option I had was Nevada, Las Vegas. Those were the only two schools out of all the ones that I went to that said I could play both sports.
Right.
And, of course, I wanted to go to Vegas, have a normal college life.
Of course, yeah.
But that's not how it worked out. So I played about either 6 or 8 games my freshman year, and I couldn't get out of spring football practice. And so I played a game of a doubleheader, and I was playing in the outfield. And throwing the ball from the outfield and throwing it from the pocket is totally different. And and I was starting to have some arm problems, so I had to go with my scholarship, which was football. So
yeah,
that's how it all worked out. But I know I sure as hell wouldn't feel this bad if I played baseball.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of your time at BYU, you probably played and you had ultimate success there, winning various awards, playing the quarterback position, and you played in probably what was one of the most exciting games in the Holiday Bowl during your time. You had a great comeback win. So could you just speak on them, give us some memories of that game?
Well, I know Eric Dickerson brings it up every time I see him. He was on that team, Craig James. I mean, they had the best team money could buy at the time. It wasn't NIL back in the day.
Well, okay, that was the other NIL.
But they had a hell of a football team, and we got down pretty far early in the game, and things weren't going well. But the second half went okay. In the fourth quarter, actually, the last 3 or 4 minutes was the game. I mean, how we were down 20 points. And come back and win. We scored quickly, got an onside kick, scored again, finally stopped them, got the ball back, and last play of the game, throw it up, and our tight end catches it for the tie, and then the kicker had to come in to win it for us. But yeah, that was a pretty exciting last 3 minutes of the game.
Hey, Jim, I'm curious about, and I know that you and the Bears and that Bears team, there was a whole lot of confidence. When you were in college and you were thinking about wanting to play in the NFL, tell me a little bit about, what did you think about getting to the league? Did you think you'd have the success that you had, or did you think it would be something different, or how did you approach the NFL as a person?
Probably just like I approached every level from growing up. You're playing little league ball, right? I think I started at 10 years old.
Right.
Saying you just want to get to that next level. You want to get from Pee Wee up to the juniors, or whatever they call them. I don't know how they call them in different leagues, but then you want to get up there and play with the older guys. I never wanted to play with the guys my age because they sucked. I mean, I wanted to get better. You gotta push yourself, and you're not going to push yourself against guys your own age. So I always thought, getting to the next level was not, was not going to be a problem. I knew how to put in the work. I knew what I could do. So, I was never worried about getting to that next level.
Now, McMahon, I was a quarterback growing up, played quarterback in college, and you were always somebody I looked at. Now, you wore the glasses, the sunglasses, Super Bowl shuffle, all that sort of thing. I thought you were the coolest dude ever. You know what I mean? And you had the swag before we start calling this swag. So what was kind of like maybe some misconceptions people had about you and sort of the persona?
Well, I've been getting grief for my sunglasses since I was 6 years old, and I stuck a fork in my eye when I was a little kid. I was trying to untie a knot in my gun holster, and my brothers and I were playing Cowboys and Indians that day because we didn't have Xbox and all that, they got nowadays.
Yeah. Bleep.
I'm loving this.
You know me, kid. I got Tourette's. I tried to get that knot out, and it slipped, and that proves the hand's quicker than the eye because 2 prongs went dead center of my eye and kind of tore it to the right. So they did a hell of a job just to save my eye. And so now the pupil doesn't dilate it. They had to cut a big chunk of the iris out so that the pupil is always, dilated. So any kind of light, sunlight, just, sitting in a room with bright light hurts. So I've worn them since I was 6 years old and gotten grief the whole time. So I really don't care. And, I didn't care then. And I certainly don't care
Well,
now.
I know for us 80s babies, we just thought it was cool.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm gonna play off of Hollis's question. So besides the sunglasses, Jim, what about your headbands? I mean, they weren't just like fashion. They were statements, right? So, what was the most?
Well, they forced me into that.
Oh, they did.
I mean,
that wasn't your idea.
I started wearing a headband in college, and that's just the only reason was to keep the damn skin on your forehead. You take that damn helmet off and on so many times.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah,
during training camp.
Yeah.
And, you see guys all the time training camp with tape and gauze all over their foreheads because they got no skin left.
Right,
And that's the reason I started wearing them.
Okay.
And then I didn't know I could start getting paid to wear them. So,
So that was kind of what happened after.
I was wearing that Adidas headband for probably 2 years before they said a word. All of a sudden we're in the playoffs, and it's a big stink. I didn't realize Adidas wasn't paying the league at the time, which wasn't a fault of mine.
Right.
But I've been wearing the same shoes, the same headband for since I got in the league. So, but now it's a big deal. So they fined me in a playoff game, and then the following week I put Roselle on my head, and I didn't get a fine that week. I got a call from the commissioner thanking me for the free advertising, and then telling me how I wasn't going to be able to wear it in the Super Bowl. And I thought, we'll see. And somehow I get from the NFC Championship game to the Super Bowl, you got 2 weeks, and somehow a rule book ended up in my locker. Don't know who put it there. So I started going through it, and I realized they had no reason to fine me a couple weeks ago. So I was, and I got offered some good money from Adidas to wear it in the Super Bowl, and I told them, look, I said, I'm going to wear it, but probably not on my head, but you'll be able to see it as clear as day. And they said, well, as long as we can see it, we'll pay you. So I said, cool. And so now I'm getting through this rule book, and I'm going, I got this guy now. And so I got sent thousands of headbands from people all over the country.
Yeah.
With, just their names on them, like Fred and Joe. And I decided I'm going to wear all charities, because if they find me for wearing a charity, they're really going to look like assholes. So
yeah.
I had a whole. I don't know how many I wore during the game, but every series was a new charity.
Wow.
But during the pregame, I had the head ref chasing me around because I had the Adidas one on. And he goes, I can't let you on the field with that. I said, yeah. Finally gets down to the national anthem. I'm standing there with Walter Payton, myself, the head ref. And as soon as the anthem's over, I go to put my helmet on. He goes, I can't let you on the field.
Oh.
And I go, I know, but you can't do a damn thing about this. And I pulled it down around my neck, and he just started laughing. And you can see this thing, every picture in the Super Bowl, you can see Adidas clear as day. And he just starts laughing. He goes, you're right. I go, I know I'm right. I read the damn rule book. So my equipment guy, give me the first headband. I think it was JDF, or juvenile diabetes. My attorney's son was a diabetic at the time, so I wore that. And then every series after that, I changed. I had POWs. I had Children's Miracle Network.
Yeah.
I mean, you name it, I had it on there. And I got a lot of great press from the people that I worked for.
Right.
And I didn't get fined, and I got paid from Adidas. And I told Pete, see, you made a big stink about nothing. This has nothing to do with the game, but you guys are trying to mess with me. And it backfired.
Wow.
Jim, I as looking up some of the things about you, one of the things that I noticed was that you know, and you're talking about it a little bit now. You are really involved in a lot of different causes that you feel that is worth your putting your name on it, being part of it. Can you talk a little bit about some of those? I know you mentioned some of them when we're talking with Lisa, but could you kind of give us an idea of like what are some of the organizations that you are part of that you try to put your name with and help?
Sure. I do a lot of stuff with our military, all different branches. There's the Marines, Hope for the Warriors. There's Navy SEAL, Uncommon Grit, St. Jude's, Shriners. But majority of it is with the military guys. I've always had a great love for those guys, and I've done so many great stuff with them. I was actually in Iraq when they hung Saddam Hussein. They wouldn't let us go to the hanging. That kind of pissed us off, but we were close. But I've got to, I flew an F-16 and a B-1 bomber. I've been in, trainers and tankers, and I've done so much cool stuff with them and driven most of our tanks, shot most of our weapons. It's just been a blast. And they said, "What do you want to do that you haven't done yet?" And I said, "Get shot off an aircraft carrier and land on one." Well, I was playing with the Chargers then. This is back in like '89. And I used to go over to Miramar every Monday night that we weren't playing and watch the game with the pilots and fly the simulators and everything. So they had it set up. If I would have went back to San Diego in 1990, but I ended up going to Philadelphia with Buddy Ryan and never got the chance. But they said anytime you want to do it. So I still might do that.
Nice. Now, speaking of that, after you got done playing with Chicago, you had a couple injuries and everything like that. You end up, like you said, with the Chargers and then Philly, and Randall Cunningham goes out, and you end up having a great season or two with them, getting comeback player of the year. So how was that experience after, going through the Super Bowl, kind of having a rough time with injuries during your playing career, and then being able to have that success at that level again?
Oh, it was great. That's the reason I went to Philadelphia, because I knew Buddy's defense was in fact, it's the best defense I've seen other than the Bear one. And I think that it might even been a little bit better in some areas. So, but it was, I thought they had a better chance of getting back to the Super Bowl than the Chargers did at that time. So that's why I ended up in Philly. And then from Philly, I ended up in Minnesota with you, kid.
Lucky
and
duck.
we went to the playoffs.
Yes, yep. I do remember that. And of course, unfortunately, we didn't do all that we needed to do. That's for sure.
Right.
So looking back, your experience, and a lot of times players they don't necessarily, for me, I wasn't comfortable going to the Saints after my seasons with the Vikings, but you seem to have fit in everywhere that you have gone. And so it never bothered you going from another team to another. You just kind of fit in. Would that be the right judgment on that, looking from the outside?
Well, I never had a problem with people. I just thought it might have been the team. From the first day maybe till the last, I'm not going to change. And I think people finally started realizing that. I mean, even when I was in Philly, after about a week, I remember Keith Byers come up to me and apologized to me. He goes, "Hey man, I'm really sorry." And I'm like, what happened? What I do? And he goes, No. I prejudged you before you got here. I had all these misconceptions about you. You weren't a serious ball player, all this stuff. And I'm like, where'd that come from? He goes, "Well, the papers, the news." I said, "Well, shit, that's your problem. You can't be relying on that for your news."
Oh, for sure.
But I said it comes down: can you play, or do you know what the hell you're talking about? And I always felt that knowledge is competence. So I knew what I was doing, so I could say what I wanted to say because I knew what I was going to do. And if my boys up front block, we're going to win.
Wow.
It wasn't that hard.
Oh, okay. So that's awesome. Jim, I have a question. You alluded to this just a few minutes ago about head coach Mike Ditka and the defensive coordinator, Buddy Ryan, kind of having tension between them. And you mentioned that it kind of overflowed into your practices. What was the craziest play or moment from those battles that, during your practices for games that kind of solidified your respect for all your teammates like Refrigerator and Walter Payton? Were there any crazy plays?
Oh, there was literally fights on every play. I mean, our practice lasted three plus hours because they're fighting every play.
Oh my gosh!
And the best one probably was Steve McMichael, who RAP. We just lost him a few months ago to ALS. But he was a big, strong man and played defensive tackle for us. And Jimbo Covert was my left tackle, and they got into it and. Some punches were thrown, and all of a sudden Jimbo, I think he punched him and then grabbed his face mask with the same hand and yanked his face mask off and then punched him with the other hand, too.
Oh my God.
And that just kind of stopped everybody. Went, holy whoa.
What?
They're like, because our offense, they talk about how tough our defense was, but our offensive line didn't take crap from nobody.
Well, and I was going to say, Jim, being a defensive guy, the offense was not like a normal, cute finesse type of offense. You guys on that side of the ball was physical. I mean, it was a physical run game.
Yeah, you had to be.
Yeah,
you had to be just to play, just to practice, kid. That's what got us ready for the games. It was just. And then I think the best move they ever made, they drafted our left guard, Mark Bortz. He was a defensive lineman out of Iowa, and they drafted him as a defensive lineman, but they moved him to offense. And I think he brought that mentality with him to the other guys. And then along with Kurt Becker, Keith Van Horn, Covert, Hilgenberg, my center. I mean, they were all ornery, mean, and you got to have that. That's it, because that's who you're blocking. Carl, there's some crazies over there in the D line.
Man,
Randall.
I wouldn't even sit down when, when the defense came up. I'm watching you all's defense because man, I'm looking at that and I'm like, man, those guys are they're crazy.
So how was it?
Yeah, they like to inflict pain. That's for sure.
That's a fact.
Could you give us some stories about Walter Payton? He was probably one of the greatest running backs ever, and fond memories of him and playing with him in Chicago.
Jim, don't tell no story of him running over me because that's out there. Use somebody else.
He was a treat to play with, man. He was never one of those guys that say, hey, give me the ball. I need the ball. He never really said a word. Other than my first start, I think it was against Detroit. My rookie year, I think it was right after the strike. And, we were notorious, 3rd and long. We were going to run sweep with Walter, right? Everybody in the league knew it. I could hear the guys in the huddle on defense, hey, watch the sweep. So I get up to the line of scrimmage, and there's literally 9 guys on my right side waiting for the sweep. I got a defensive tackle and a weak side linebacker to my left. I got 3-on-2 right there, easy. So I'm trying to think of this, just a simple off-tackle play to the fullback, which we've run 1,000 times in training camp, right? Everybody knows the play. But our numbering system was back asswards from what I learned from Little League until I got to Chicago. Even numbers were to the right, odd was to the left. In Chicago was reversed. Dick had just come from Dallas, whose head coach was Landry, who was a defensive guy, and that's how he numbered it. And so it finally clicked in, and then the number happened to be 34. So I said 234 in my left guard. He looks up at me and goes, 34? What the hell's 34? It wasn't in the game plan that week, right? But it's a play everybody knows. I said, Bootsy, we're running right there. Block his ass. So I think it was 3rd and 6 or something, and I give it to Stewie. He gets 8 yards for first down. So I'm coming back to the huddle, and Noah grabs me. He says, youngster, you got any more surprises for me? And And I said, well, I'm not running into a brick wall, dude. Keep your ears open. And then as I'm getting into the huddle, Walter says it to me. It's the only time he talked to me on the field. He said, hey, keep doing what you're doing. He goes, I don't want to run into that either.
There you go.
I don't think they ever changed the play for the poor guy before I got there. I go, it's ridiculous to try to run into that.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, that. I mean, he was just, and he made some of the best 30-yard runs that only gained a yard. I mean,
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Sideline to sideline, he just did not like to be tackled.
And and one of the other things I can remember outside after one of the games, my son got a chance to meet him, and he was so genuine of a person that I think when people think of a great athlete or a good football player, a hard-nosed football player, he was all of those things, but he was a legitimately great man.
Yeah, real nice guy.
Yeah.
High voice. He was sounded like that all the time.
Yeah. And I just thought that was really special.
He was tough.
Yeah, he was a tough guy. Yeah. Hey, so since we're going down memory lane with Walter Payton, I'm going to go a little bit further back to BYU again, Jim, if you don't mind, and ask you about Andy Reid. Was he one of your college teammates at BYU?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
He was one of my tackles in 1980.
Yeah.
I think he came there. I believe he came there in '79, which was my redshirt year. And
Okay.
then, I played with him in 1980. Yep, sure did.
What was he like? Did you guys have a close friendship, or?
Yeah. We got real close one time. He got me drilled. He kind of missed his guy in Wisconsin. And I looked up, and his was the first face I saw. And I was, your guy, huh? And he went, yep, sorry about that. But other than that, yeah, he did well. He was a scrapper. I love what he's done as a coach. I mean, you got to love an offensive lineman who likes to throw the ball.
Absolutely.
He does that.
Jim, when you watch the games now, go to the games now, do you see a difference, a major difference in the game? And if so, like what do you see, and then maybe even to the point of, do you like what you see of where the game's going now?
Well, the other day is when I saw more football on Saturday, whenever the Bears played the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that
the
too.
First half, and then about the last 5 minutes of the game. And that's all I saw all season. So other than knowing that they throw the ball a lot more than they did back when we played, which I would have liked to do because that's what I did coming out of college was throw the ball. But, I got stuck in that offense.
Well, yeah, because when we were first into the league, I mean, there wasn't like you might throw 12 to 15 times in a game, and everything else was running. And I don't know if people really realize that the defenses were set really basically for the run, and accept whatever took place in the past because you didn't really throw the ball. And then until teams started kind of doing like some of that hurry up stuff and all that, that was really like those kind of teams were the only ones who were really throwing the ball. Everybody else had a big running back and just was just pounding it almost every other play.
Right. It was very boring.
Imagine for me, it wasn't very good. Because I mean,
I for nothing.
I'm out there trying to, and I've said this to the crew.
Playing soccer, just running up and down, don't really do much.
Exactly, and I've told the crew, man, my experience with Payton was not a good one, man. It was not a good one, and it was I was playing safety. It was the year that I played safety, I think my second year, and man, like it just like the front just opened. And I'm playing at free safety, and I'm like thinking, and I wanted to get back to free safety. I thought I was like a tackler. I was I was that dude, right? I can hit you.
Yeah.
And Jim, man, it just popped open, and I'm looking at him, and I'm already. My first thought was like, he's not gonna get off track. He's not gonna make a move on me. There's no real reason for him to even think about making a move for me. So I know he's going to run me over. So, man, I'm running. I'm giving everything I got. Man, I hit him. My whole body just, like, stopped. And I started,
no other way to put it.
And I started going on my way back. The only reason he fell was because he tripped over me. Like, I'd love to claim like I hit him and I tackled him. But no, man, he tripped over me. And to me, when people ask me who was the best running back I've ever played against, it's him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely lay a pop on you if he could. He'd use that elbow too.
Oh yeah, that was a punch, really.
Forearm. Yeah.
That was more of a punch.
He was strong.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. And that's even really before weights were a big deal in the, like working out all 3 days or 3 days of the week and all that kind of stuff. That was really before everybody was really dying into the weights, getting stronger. That was just, to me, that I felt like that was mostly natural for him.
No, he worked at it. He ran up and down this big ass hill behind his house. He ran up and down there. He tried to get me out there. I said, dude, if I got to run up that hill, we ain't going to win.
Oh, wow.
Those big boys get paid, too. Let them block a little bit.
Hey, Jim, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back, okay?
Let's face it, bad things happen to good people. Seriously injured in a car accident, trucking accident, or even wrongfully arrested. Life happens, and when it happens to you, you will need sound legal advice and aggressive representation. That's when you call attorney Frank Walker at 304-413-0179. That's 304-413-0179. Lock it in your phone, text it to a friend. 304-413-0179. Or visit online at attorneyfrankwalker.com.
Let's Talk with Carl Lee is presented by attorney Frank Walker. Comment on episodes, ask the crew questions, or suggest topics on our Facebook page. Search for Let's Talk with Carl Lee and remember to like the page to become part of the conversation. Subscribe by searching Let's Talk with Carl Lee on your favorite podcast service and tune in Thursday evenings at 7 or Sunday nights at 8 for Let's Talk with Carl Lee. This is Let's Talk with Carl Lee. Now back to the conversation.
All right, we can come on back. They'll put in the break. So we'll go back. Hollis had to leave, so it's just me and.
Maybe we could start with the clip.
Oh yeah, we're gonna play a clip. So let me get us going, and then we're gonna run a clip, and then we'll have you comment on it. Okay.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back from a break, and we're gonna play a clip for you, and we've got Jim McMahon on the line, so we'll see what his response is after we hear it.
Shuffling crew, shuffling on down, doing it for you. We're so bad, we know we're good. Blowing your mind like we knew we would. You know we're just strutting for fun, strutting our stuff for everyone. We're not here to start no trouble. We're just here to do the Super Bowl shuffle.
Well, they call me Sweetness, and I like to dance. Running the ball is like making more mans. We had to go since training camp to give Chicago a Super Bowl champ. And we're not doing this because we're greedy. The Bears are doing it to feed the needy. We didn't come here to look for trouble. We just come here to do the Super Bowl shuffle.
I'm the punky QB known as McMahon. When I hit the turf, I've got no plan. I just throw my body all over the field. I can't dance, but I can throw the field. I motivate the cats I like to tease. I play so cool, I aim to please. That's why you all got here on the double to catch me doing the Super Bowl shuffle.
Jim, I do not understand how your musical career didn't take off after that. I mean, what happened?
I don't know. We had a gold record, a platinum video, and we lost the Grammy to Prince that year, so we did okay.
I guess that's not too bad.
No, if you're going to lose, you might as well lose to Prince.
I'll give you that.
So let me ask you this, though, Jim. Those were the kind of things that your team's remembered for. I mean, not only winning the Super Bowl, the 85 Bears, but just the kind of bravado that came with you guys. I mean, was that something that you guys just naturally fell into, or was it something that you deliberately did to get in your opponent's heads? Was it a combination? I mean, was it just fun?
No, we had a lot of very competent players. We had a lot of competent people. And we knew we were good. I mean, we had a good 5-year run. It wasn't like we just went away in 85.
Right. That's true.
But, we just thought when that idea came to us, Willie Galt had a friend in the music business, and he said, look, we're going to do this record. They said record. And the proceeds will feed the homeless on Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's where we're thinking. We thought maybe it'd just be like a little local thing, you know. Nobody thought it would turn into what it did. But, yeah, that's the reason that we did it. And, you know, after we did the record, the guys that had speaking parts, they came to us a few weeks after that and said, hey, now we got to do a video. And we're like, what? I said, the deal was a record. No, nowadays when you do a record, you got to do a video. I said, well, that ain't part of the deal. I ain't going. And myself and Walter actually didn't go. And they actually filmed that at the day after we lost to Miami on Monday night down in Miami. So we got home like at 3 or 4. The guys had to be at the studio, I think, at 9. And they were there for 8-10 hours, I think. I don't know. And, yeah, so then Walter and I had to eventually do our parts of the racquetball court at Hollis Hall after practice one day. So what you see up there is a couple of guys doing whatever they told us to do. But it turned out, you know, we still had 4 or 5 games left to play in the season. So if we don't win, we're going to look like idiots.
So, wow. So that was pre-recorded. It wasn't like right before the Super Bowl then.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
And as
people were putting it up on their locker rooms, going, "Oh, look at they're going to the Super Bowl already."
Yeah,
absolutely. Because I can tell you, the first time I heard it and saw it, I hated it. Like I was like, "What are they? What is going on with them? What makes them think they're so special?" I'm like, "Why is that happening?" And
tell us how you really feel, Carl.
Well, no, it was like once you from the beginning, you already don't like the Bears, you know, because they're the team that you got to beat. And now that they're good, and you know that they're good, you don't really want to give them any credit. And now they're dancing. Jim. Now they're dancing and all of that. They're all over the television dancing and singing. What else could you think? Like, what else? Like, what else can they do? Like, what else can they do to make a team not like them?
Yeah, we took some heat for those next 4 games, that's for sure.
Because I have to assume everybody who saw it and everybody that you all played, whoever those last games were, it was all about like, oh, let's show them, you know, and
yeah, it was motivation.
Yeah, and again, anybody could use anything. You needed anything to motivate you to go for the Bears because they were just that good, and you needed something to motivate your team to be like, oh, we got to get them because they said this, or they're out there dancing, having fun, and all that kind of stuff. It didn't change anything, though. Oh. Unfortunately, it didn't change. I mean, to me, it was really one of those kind of situations where it was the perfect team doing all of the perfect things, not even knowing what the cause was. You know, I didn't know that it was all 4 different charities and things, but at the end of the day, everything that they did, they could back it up. Anything they said, they could back it up. And when you can't change it, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, again, to me, I don't think there's a team today that would even be willing to get on the field and play that team in its prime. I don't think it's possible.
Yeah. So,
yeah, like I said, I'd line up with those guys against anybody.
Yes,
yeah.
I don't blame you, man.
So Jim, we had some audience interaction. We had some questions that we received before the interview with you tonight, and one was, and you referred to playing with the Packers at one point in your career, and did you play with Brett Favre at any time when you were there?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It was there my last year and a half, or year and 4 or 5 games. Yeah.
Okay. So someone was wanting to know what it was like playing with him.
Brett was fun. He's a competitor. He's a prankster. He liked to have a good time. He liked to laugh. And he did a great job for us. I told him, just don't screw it up, dude, because it was all set up for us perfectly. It was just like what happened in Chicago. We lost the championship game in '84, came back in '85 and won it. And then in '95, that's what happened to us. We lost the NFC championship. And so while we were in training camp, the schedule came out. And I noticed that the Super Bowl was back in New Orleans, and it was actually on the same day that we had played 11 years prior.
Wow.
and then we end up playing against the same team.
Oh, wow.
You talk about some deja vu. At least nobody tried to shoot me that time. I try to stay out of the news.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think when you look back and you see that team and you see those players, and I know, you know, maybe there may have been some of the players may have moved on, gone, but is that bond? I mean, that's a bond that it's very difficult to break. I know when we went to the NFC Championship game, and even though we lost it, like those guys on that team, there is such a bond that you can never lose. And I don't know if that's just a football thing or just a sports thing, but I don't know if the public realizes like how strong of a bond you get and you build when you're spending that time in the locker room, on the field. You're going through highs and you're going through lows. You end up finding yourself loving every one of those dudes that you're around every day. And I can't imagine just how you guys played. I can only imagine the bond that you must have.
Yeah, it's still strong. I mean, I saw the guys opening weekend. I think it was against the Vikings. Didn't they play Monday night in Chicago?
Yes. I'm pretty.
We had our alumni. We had our alumni dinner
weekend. Okay.
Year anniversary that night, so I got to see all the guys that I haven't seen in probably 30 years, and it's still the same. You know, the same old locker room. You know, jokes and how's everybody feeling. You should have seen us all limp out, though. I mean, we look like, you know.
I understand that too.
You know who's undefeated, Jim? It's Father Tom, right? He's the only.
No doubt about that.
Well, Jim, we'll let you go, and I totally appreciate it, and I'm hoping that we'll get to see each other. I know Buddy will have something going, and we'll meet back up in Minneapolis.
All right, brother, sounds great.
All right, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim, so much.
You're welcome.
Have
Take
a good
care.
night.
Bye.
So,
he's very colorful.
Yes, and what's interesting to me is like he can be even more like, I'll call it colorful.
Flamboyant.
Yeah. And I don't know if it was just like him just being, just wanting to be cool, just do the interview. But like I said, I'll get a chance to see him sometime whenever we get a chance to be back in Minnesota. But he is such a good dude, man. Like
I can tell that.
And and you would think somebody as notable as him wouldn't want to sit around and sign autographs from, these everybody running around trying to get an autograph. He is so cool with it.
Yeah.
He has no issues with it. And
he seems like a very caring person. Like he's not what most people would think a star right
would be. And I consider him a star.
Oh, sure.
And an example of the greatest quarterbacks, during that time. And yet, he'll come on the show.
Yeah.
He'll meet up with people and talk to people, answer questions with them. And to me, you think that there's a lot of people like that who has his background.
Right.
Who would not do that. They wouldn't take the time.
Right.
And for whatever that reason, good, bad, or indifferent why they don't do it, it amazes me that he would do it. Like even when I called, like he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll do it." Let me know.
No hesitation.
At all. No hesitation whatsoever.
And you guys played. What years did you guys play together?
He came in '82. I came in '83.
So that was before he went to the Bears. And no.
It was, yeah, he just got to when I got there, he was with the Bears.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, man, he didn't say it out loud. He was the man on that team.
Yeah.
Like you had Singletary. I looked at Singletary as like the guy who's running the the defense.
Right.
And you see McMahon, he's running the offense. But when you start to think about, like, well, who's running the team?
Yeah.
Like, who is the man? Like,
Right.
one of them somebody has to be the man. To me, in my vision, it was him.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a power trip.
Right.
It was like, let's go, guys. We can do this. You know,
Yeah.
it was a different kind of leadership
Yeah.
that I think you don't see now. Like
Right.
he was leading by example, and he's asking you, come on, Lisa, let's go. Come on, we can do this.
Yeah.
You know, not like, come on, let's go. Like it wasn't really like that.
Right.
It was it appeared to be different than that, and just a cool, like I'll do anything for him.
Yeah.
You know, like
yeah.
he could get you to the point of like,
He's just got that type of personality and leadership skills.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that is the craziest.
And I really was interested when I asked him about the headband story. I didn't realize that there was that much into it.
I didn't either.
I didn't realize that he had been penalized for the first one. And then after that, he's like, well, I'll just wear charities. They can't do anything about that, which was pretty cool. I didn't realize the whole history behind that.
But again, even in that, he's standing up for.
Right.
He's standing up for having the opportunity to represent, to make sure people see these things that matter to him because it matters to other people. It's going to impact other people.
Yeah. And he got creative with the Adidas one, putting it around his neck because he knew. He said he read the book. So that was a really interesting story.
Who reads the rule books to see how to break it?
Obviously, Jim McMahon.
and again, he's not breaking it for himself, just to be bragging, just to say,
no,
I want to do this.
He's proving a point.
He's proving a point and doing it for something that matters.
Right.
And to me, I don't know if you can take anything away from that. And to me, it's more of, it just shows who he really is.
He stands up for what he believes in.
Right.
Period.
And you can't. And to me, what that shows, as we promoted his name out as, you know, going to be on the show, we're promoting him as that football player.
Right.
But he's bigger than that.
Yes. Which is what this show's all about.
Yeah,
so I enjoy that.
Yeah, he's so much what we got to see, what we got to hear, and what I hope that the listeners get is he's different than who you thought he was.
Right.
If you've seen him play, if you saw the clips of him saying this or him in the shuffle and all that kind of stuff, you see all those things.
Right.
But the reality of it was for something else, something bigger, what he thought was bigger than him.
Yeah. Very, very, very down to earth. I liked him a lot.
Yeah, that was.
We need to have him back on. For sure.
Yeah, we may have to go down the road and try to find another way, because I'd like to have a couple quarterbacks, like one somewhat closer to now versus someone back in the day. And then the way Jim was like a tough guy anyway. Like, he wasn't like the cute quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, he was like that, you know, he was a dog, you know? And I hate to say this, but a lot of quarterbacks today are not dogs.
Well, that's pretty much, that sums it up.
And
for lack of a better word.
Yeah, and I kind of like to see
the
like,
difference
in how they think.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when Jim talks, he talks about his team.
Yeah.
How they were. Some of the cute quarterbacks talk about them.
Good point.
You know, and, you know, I do this and, you know, and I'll make sure I do these kind of things and da-da-da-da-da. But that's a championship guy right there.
Yeah.
That's a guy.
That's a 1 in a million.
Yeah. To me,
I don't think they make them like him anymore.
And I don't think there's been a team. I don't think there will be a team that will ever be like that group of Chicago Bears team. I think that was probably the best
once in a lifetime
team. You Vikings have some great teams back in the day. They're once in a lifetime there. But I think this Bears team was amazing. And
just the names. The names that came from that Super Bowl team that they're just household names. And it's more than one. So
that's the crazy thing.
Yeah, that's the crazy
thing. When you know it's good is when you know most you can almost name all the players on that team playing in the position.
And still can.
Years later.
Yeah.
Years later.
I agree.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get out of here and hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you again next week.
Let's Talk with Carl Lee is presented by attorney Frank Walker. Comment on episodes, ask the crew questions, or suggest topics on our Facebook page. Search for Let's Talk with Carl Lee and remember to like the page to become part of the conversation. Subscribe by searching Let's Talk with Carl Lee on your favorite podcast service and tune in Thursday evenings at 7 or Sunday nights at 8 for Let's Talk with Carl Lee.
If you fall, dust it off and get back up on your feet. Anything could be a win, yup, even defeat. They say sugar bad for you, wise victory sweet. Couldn't play with big kids, I had to sit in the street and watch from a distance, but over time I grew. If I put in the work, in no time I'm due. Everything that I worked and prayed, I'm okay. If you ask me, how did I do it, I'm gon' say, you gotta work, grind, shine, it's mine. Gotta show everybody it's my time. Getting here, you gotta work, grind, shine, never mind who talking down, cause they lying. Don't talk, you gotta work. 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 You gotta work.